All right, today we're going to look at how we can multiply a fraction by a whole number. You might also hear this called fraction of a whole, a fractional part of a whole, part of a whole. Notice that I keep saying the word of. That is just a reminder that anytime we are multiplying, we could also use the word of. So when we hear the word of, we know that we could multiply. I want to look at two different problems today, each of them using a separate way that we could solve it. On the first problem, we're going to start out and we're going to say we have 3/4 of 20. So in this problem, I might be thinking about having 20 kids in my class. And 3/4 of those kids are done with their assignment. The first strategy I want to use is a tape diagram. To do that, I'm going to draw my tape diagram and label it 20, since 20 is the total that I have. Since I see right here that I split that into fourths, I'm going to split my section into fourths. Now I'm going to ask myself, what is 20 divided by 4? Okay, I know that it is 5. So I know that there are 5 in each of these groups. So now I'm going to say, well, 3 of them are done with their assignments. So I know that these 3 groups are done. 5 times 3 is 15. That tells me my answer is 15. Another way to solve this problem would be using computation. We know that anytime we have a whole number, we can turn it into a fraction. Let's make our little thought bubble by putting it over the number 1, because 20 divided by 1 is just 20. So I know that I could also say 3/4 times 20 over 1. Most of the time, we just go ahead and write that like this, because we know that that 1 is not changing the 4. From here, we could go ahead and multiply. 3 times 2 is 60, and we still have 4 in the denominator, leaving us with 60 divided by 4. A lot of us will know that that is 15, but some of us won't. Remember that we've also discussed some strategies of simplifying these out. We see that 20 and 4 both have a common factor of 4. I could mark that 4 out. 4 divided by 4 would be 1, and 20 divided by 4 would be 5. Now 3 times 5 equals 15, because we know that when we have 1 in the denominator, he just goes back into hiding. Whether you multiply to get your 60/4 and end up dividing, or go ahead and simplify it before you multiply, it doesn't matter, because your end answer is 15. Okay, so while we're looking at that, we know that sometimes we have problems where it doesn't work out as evenly. Maybe I had 25 Rice Krispie treats, and I wanted to eat 3/4 of them for breakfast. Again, I could start with my tape diagram and say 25 and split that into 4 groups. Now, I don't really know 25 into 4 groups. I could put 25/4, or I could divide. I know that 6 is going to give me 24, with 1 left over. We're going to turn that remainder into a fraction and put 6 and 1/4 in each of these. When I go back and look at my problem, I see that I wanted 3 of those fourths. So those are the ones that I want. So if I say 6 and 1/4 plus 6 and 1/4 plus 6 1/4. I end up with 18 3/4. Now, when we have numbers that don't work out as evenly, I tend to have kids that prefer to use a different strategy. So this is where we would see kids go ahead and say 3 times 25 and then divide by 4. If you practice your quarter math, 3 times 25 you already know is 75. 75 divided by 4. We're going to work that out and think about our problem. 75 divided by 4. I know that I could make 10 groups to get 40, leaving me with 35. I know that 8 groups would make 32, leaving me with 3. We're going to turn that back into a fraction, put these together. That gives me 18 right here, and my remainder is 3/4. If you need a refresher on division, check out the division video.